Hey viewers and viewers, my name is General Red Strategist and welcome back to If My Heart Had Wings, episode 6. So, Kotori's now officially in the Soaring Club, saving it from closure and all that, and we've revealed that the notebook that she has actually belonged to Isuka, Amane's friend, who I have my suspicion could be dead. So last episode was a good one, we had some real emotional moments right there. We're just going to throw ourselves back in and keep going. I'm recording this straight after the last one, as I said I would. Quickly, there's no need to rush. I just finished at the cash register at the convenience store, and then I went after Kotori, who had left first and had a convenience store bag on her lap. Then I hold on to the grip of the wheelchair. Let's go, Kotori, hold on tight. Alright, here we go. That wasn't Irish, but never mind. Following Kotori's command, I pushed the wheelchair forward at breakneck speed. Hey, are you okay? I'm okay, I'm completely fine. I push out my chest to try to show her that I'm okay, but I can't hide the fact that I am out of breath. My stamina's gotten worse. I've been pushing the wheelchair while running up until now, but I was reminded of how much my stamina had decreased. She couldn't help but notice, so Kotori took a sports drink out of the convenience store bag. Here you go, Owie. Danke. You're getting a bit carried away. Is your knee okay? My knee? Yeah, no problem, I think. Going to the doctor, I shouldn't have any difficulty with everyday life. The problem is whether or not this is above the normal level of everyday activity or not. I told you halfway that you could stop, but in the end you ran all the way to the school. Since this morning I've been in high spirits, and the effect hadn't worn off yet for some reason. It's because our club activities were finally about to start. Today is Saturday, a day off, but we intentionally got up early and came to school. You went through all the effort to get better, so take care of yourself, okay? Yes, Kotori's actually now being nice. We've broken through the tsundere facade. You're right. As I speak, I move the bottle up to my mouth. I've been sweating a lot, so my body quickly absorbs the water. G'day, what's that about your knee? Puh. From out of nowhere, a gay appeared right next to me. It's nothing, no big deal. Morning, Kotori. Morning, Agea. That wasn't quite Irish, but never mind. Kotori seems a little embarrassed as Agea speaks to her. You got here first. No, I saw you guys racing along at top speed and I followed you. Is that so? I didn't realise. That's the first time I'd seen someone running and pushing a wheelchair. I'll go on ahead, okay? Kotori was being careful around Agea and spoke like she was uncomfortable as she went on ahead. Rather than being annoyed, she seems more embarrassed than anything. I think Agea understands that too, but... What? Ah, nothing. Well, then I'm going on ahead now too. See you, Owie. Seeming like she'd had enough of talking to me, Agea also went on ahead. Hey, wait, Agea. I chase after the two of them and we head to the garage. What's up? What's up? Everyone says. Amane was already inside the garage. Amane was making a serious face in front of the drawing board. She's really concentrating or hasn't noticed us. For a moment I wasn't sure if I should call out to her, but if we don't say anything, how many hours would she be doing that for? Guten Tag, Amane. It is you, fellows. What's up, Amane? What's up? Everyone's saying what's up. Agaheo and Kotori copies the greetings that I use. Whenever I think of what's up, I think of the annoying orange. Remember that flipping thing? That one video where it was all the different fruits coming in and all like, what's up? That one. Sip of my water, there we are. From today we'll do our best. Amane points at me and makes a troubled face. You there, what doth your name be? That's right, I'd never once told her my name, even though we've met several times. Aoi Minase, 2nd grade, Class A. I give a very sharp self-introduction and the others do likewise. Also from the 2nd grade Class A, Agea Himegi. Also from the... Irish. Yeah, fucking Mary. Also from the 2nd grade Class A, Kotori Habane. Aoi, Agea, Kotori, Aoi, Agea, Kotori. She confirms our faces on names in order. I am from the 5th grade, Class C, or was it D? Amane Mochizuki. She misses so many lessons she doesn't even know which class she's in, it seems. My greatest gratitude for yesterday. Because of you fellows, I can continue to stay here. We are somehow very grateful to hear these words of thanks from Amane. Is it really alright for us to join? She was unsure as to whether she would accept new members. As she found the answer she was looking for, then... Oh yes, I welcome all of you. Welcome to the Soaring Club. I don't know what she was worrying about, how she arrived at her answer, but it somehow seems as if there was no problem with us joining the club. Well then, let us do our best. She said like that she was just throwing it out there before returning to the drawing board. She stares at the diagram with a serious look on her face. Amane? Yes? What should we be doing? Oh yes, that is right. Make yourselves at home. Have a cup of tea. There are some manga books on that shelf too. She didn't actually think about maybe we could help her. On that shelf was every volume of Slam Dunk. The covers were faded and it seemed like they'd seen many years of service. The two girls both make faces that say, "This isn't what I thought it would be like. My face might have been the same. Isn't there anything for us to do? I told you, read some manga. Not that. Something to do with a glider. If you really want to get involved with the glider." Amane opened her eyes wide. Is that so? You guys are strange. I don't want to hear that from you. Amane, could it be that we are in your way by joining the club? She didn't want anyone coming near this garage, did she? No, that is not true. It is just that I have been doing this by myself until now, so I don't know what you can do. When Amane was within one step of the national championship with the robot club, it seems she did most of that by herself. She's typical the type of person who's no good with social situations. You're a fine one to talk. Excuse me, can I ask a question? Agea raised a hand. Go ahead. Specifically speaking, what are the activities that this club is involved in? Agea asks a fundamental question. I feel like she has been asked a similar question before, but at that time was only asked for a summary. If we're actually going to take part in this club, we need her to tell us more specific information. Well, we make gliders and fly. That's it. I think everyone knows that already. Making or flying, which is the main objective. After building it, then you fly it. Isn't that what normally happens? But you're not aiming to enter competitions or anything, are you? That is right, I am not. She answered bluntly and without a shred of interest. So the main objective is to build it then? No, that's wrong. Flying above the clouds is the objective, right? Amane somehow lacks confidence when she nods. How far have you got with the glider, you wallaby? That's Irish, what am I doing? A few days ago, I finally finished assembling it and went for a test flight, but where are the wings? Well, the wings are there, but why are they not attached? I guess you just need to take them off to fit it in here, I guess. As Amane explained, she moves to inside the garage. The main wings doth snapped. In the corner of the garage was the broken wings. It looks like they weren't strong enough. Now I'm reviewing the designs, but... Looking at the twisted wings, Amane lets out a little groan. I have redone the strength calculations, but this time I cannot find where the problem is. I do not know the reason, so I have the greatest of problems. If Amane doesn't understand, there's no way we will. I thought to myself as Agea got close to Amane and checked the broken parts of the main wings. Then... Yep, this will snap, she stated simply. How do you know? See here, the thickness is uneven and it's distorted in places. Oh, so it is. The construction methods are too rough, and the joints couldn't withstand the load and it cracked. Amane reels in shock. Is that what it was? And then, it's because I'm not so good with my hands. She becomes timid. You made this by hand, piece by piece? I did not do it all myself, but the fuselage is handmade. This is handmade. Kotori and I were pretty surprised by this, but Agea didn't seem to make much of a big deal about it. I see it's rough, It's no good, she's totally depressed. Because of the parts that Aoi got, I was able to fix the malfunction in the instruments. If I can just get the main wings repaired, it can go on another test flight. You're going to do the wing repairs by hand too? Why, yes, of course. Agea takes a part of the wings that isn't snapped and checks it over, with a troubled look on her face. G'day, wouldn't it be better to build the wings from scratch? If you don't, then other parts might snap too, you know. Negatives. Amane looks like she's going to cry. I don't know why I went posh then. Alright, Zen will help. This is fibre reinforced plastic, right? I've worked with this before. I might be able to do something about this. You're experienced with that from the Robot Club, are you? We should start immediately. That way we can fly sooner, right? The motivation of the 3 new members has returned, and now we feel excited about it. I really want to do that too, but unfortunately I am lacking in materials. There are lots of parts that can be used for repairs. G'day, to make something of this size from scratch would require large amounts. How do you usually get things like that? Mail order. Amane goes to the mail order materials website on the laptop connected to the internet. To remake the main wings, we'd need about this much, said Amane as she entered a number. That's not a bad price, but there's no way we can afford that on the club budget. I don't know how much the budget is for the soaring club, but the price displayed on the mail order site's input page was no small amount. Well, that is no problem. I am rich, dear fellow. Amane completed the order. Is that okay, Amane? Yes, that amount of money should be no object at all. What do you mean, no problem? Could it be that when it comes to the club budget, the soaring club gets preferential treatment? It'll take a little while for it to arrive, then the construction work can begin. Which means that we don't have anything to do after all. Until then, what should we do? Read some manga books or something. With that order, the soaring club leader went back to staring at the designs he was working on. And we read manga for the rest of the day. I found a nice ecchi comic in these shelves. Even if we say we've got nothing to do, it's not like there is nothing whatsoever for us to do. We were still beginners when it came to gliders, so we took some books from the shelf and started our own little study session. Aerodynamics, glider construction and so on. As for the basics on how aircraft fly, we were taught that before by Amane. In terms of the various methods of creating what is known as lift, the more we found out, the more interesting it became. Is it time for another science lesson? And then it was noon. That is most delicious. That was the first intake of calories I've had in a while. Amane was already enjoying the bread and rice balls that Katori and I bought at the convenience stores this morning. Just for reference, I'd like to ask you, how long has it been since you last ate? 46 hours ago. That time it was the school-made pork cutlet bowl. I had a big bowl. Would you like to eat this too? Out of pity, Katori offered Amane her pickled plum rice ball. Oh, many thanks. Can I have another sip of water while I'm at it? G'day, she has quite the appetite, doesn't she? Witnessing the Amane Mochizuki-style eating techniques for the first time, Agea is, as expected, pretty freaked out. It could be because the image of the beautiful and mysterious senior students that Agea had been holding on to was being completely destroyed. Mazve, because we've had club activities from the morning, Agea has brought a lunchbox. Are there any other parts that we need? I asked Amane once she had calmed down after a meal. Only one. What is it? I cannot get one no matter what I do. The truth is, it is rather a big problem. As the way she said it, we all get into a position to listen seriously to her story. What is it you need? A pilot? You're saying... I thought she was flying it, wasn't she? Didn't she say she took it out for a flight before? When Amane said this, she made a facial expression she would use as if this were on TV, looking straight at the camera. Aren't you going to fly it? You flew it the other day, didn't you? I am not very good though. Also, last time I almost failed when landing and damaged the tail. It is... oh, wrong voice. G'day, it's true. The tail has scratches on it. I do not have much confidence in my motor skills. Hang on, could you come here for a second? I call Amane over to an open space. Please try to do some repeated side jumps. Oh, okay. Amane tried some repeated side jumps like I asked. Okay. Possible thumbnail right there. Amane's repeated side jumps, you know. Okay. What is happening? Yes, I do know. It's supposed to be repeated side jumps, but each time the number of steps is different and somehow she turns her body. It should just be moving quickly from side to side, but it looks like some kind of terrible dancing. It's true, she's terrible. Without thinking, we all murmured in unison. It didn't seem that motor skills was that important for piloting a glider, but that level of clumsiness could make things pretty dangerous. Also, I have acrophobia. That's the fear of heights, isn't it? That seems like it might be a problem. When I go to high places, I get scared and feel dizzy. Then why the hell is she making a glider? But I do have the qualification. You only need one document. In other words, she's been trying really hard. Oh, that's enough of the repeated side jumps. I'm worn out. Amane wipes the sweat from her forehead. She's a beautiful girl, so at least she's able to do those kind of movements well. I guess you're looking for the silver lining, are you, Howie? Yes. Suddenly Kotori raised a hand. I want to do it. I want to be the pilot. As Kotori vigorously volunteered, Amane made a troubled face. I'm sorry, but you cannot do it, dear fellow. Why not? If I need to practice, I'll try really hard. I might not look like it, but I've got some great motor skills. You can't push the rudder pedal, though, can you? Rudder pedal? As there are pedals in the cockpit. If you can't push them, you can't pilot it. Kotori moved back, dejected. Well, I'd rather not do it. I'm more interested in making of it than flying. Ageo, who is looking inside the aircraft's cockpit, sounds like she's talking about someone else. That leaves one person. I want to do it. If it's motor skills for talking about, I'm fairly confident. Alright, it is decided. Aoi, you shall undergo training to become the pilot. The pilot even. Yeah. And that is how I suddenly came to be the pilot. Look at him. He is a pilot now. Let me drink some water. After club activities had finished, I returned to the dormitory. Come on, cheer up. What? I am cheerful. Ever since it was decided that Ivory's a pilot, Kotori has been feeling down like this. Just because you can't pilot it doesn't mean that you can't fly. That glider is a double-seater. There are two types of glider cockpits, single-seater and double-seater. The single-seater fits one person, while the double-seater fits two. Once I'm able to fly, you're the first person I'm taking with me. It's annoying how it feels like you're looking down on me. But I'll settle for that. Good. Alright, let's prepare for dinner. Guten Tag, we're back. I push the wheelchair as we go into the entranceway. Welcome back, Howie, Kotori-chan. Hello. Kanako, thank you so much for yesterday. No, I'm glad it went well. I wanted to soar to the heavens too, though. By the way, Kotori, she's here. Older sister, maybe? As we entered the dining hall, with the force of the St. Bernard from the other day, an unknown girl came flying out to hug Kotori. Sis. Oh god, do I also need to go Irish for this one? Jeez. The voice acting in the background. Maybe I'll take the voice up. Oh, actually, no, I can't though, can I? Ah, fuck it, we're not taking the voice up. Because I don't think she's actually listed. Unless we're about to find out her name, I don't know. I'm sorry that I couldn't come back to see you. Kotori's older sister burst into tears as she held her and rubbed her cheeks against hers. Hold on, that hurts. Hibari, let me go. Is there a Hibari? In here? Oh yeah, there is a Hibari. She's here. Alright, we'll go on, let's get her voice up for a moment. Realising that she was suffocating her younger sister, she let go of Kotori. Who is she? She's my big sister. Kotori introduces in a way that implied I don't like doing introductions. Let her talk first. Sis, this mean-looking boy is... well, he doesn't really look that mean, but he's violent and gives me karate chops. Yeah, hurry up with the introduction. He's our new dorm mother. Nice to meet you. I'm Aoi Minase, the current dorm mother. I bowed my head and Kotori's sister stood up quickly and straightened out her messed up clothes. There you go, there's her voice. Right, now that we've done that, we can take it back down. So, Irish accent, I think, is the one we'll use for this one. I apologise for the late introduction. I'm Hibari Amane. I'm Kotori's older sister. She seems very proud to say that she is Kotori's older sister. I heard that there was a new dorm mother, so I thought I should meet you as soon as possible. But I've been away from Japan with my job for a while. There's nothing special, but please share this with everyone. She gave a deep bow and passed me something wrapped into paper of a famous Japanese sweets... let's say sweet shop. For some reason the S and the sweets S hop. Thank you very much. I was surprised at first, but she seems like a perfectly sensible person. She's gentle and seems like a little different to her. I should just say like. She seems... hang on, the way that's phrased is a bit off. You should just say she's gentle and seems nice. A little different to her younger sister. What did you buy? Sweet bean jelly from Mifune. Also, there is some ice cream in the fridge. Alright, as expected, I'm my big sister Hibari. Kotori rushes straight to the fridge. You can eat that after dinner. It's fine, just one spoonful. 9. Mean as always. Kotori looks like she's having such a good time. I had no reason to worry. Oh, that's right, Kotori. While Kotori had the fridge open and was rummaging around inside, her sister went over to her. I was so happy to see you that I completely forgot. Are you serious about quitting school? Not so loud. The boarders are outside the dining hall. Why do you want to quit? Did something bad happen? If so, I'll speak to your teacher. I'm not going to quit anymore. Huh? I still haven't completely made up my mind though. I'm going to keep trying for a little while longer. I see. Hibari breathes a sigh of relief. Kotori, when you said you wanted to quit school, while I was away, I kept worrying and worrying. I'm sorry for worrying you like that. No, that's okay. Maybe I should have given her a different voice just to differentiate her a bit, but... I mean, the fact that she has a setting of her own in the audio settings obviously means that she's going to be popping up throughout the game. But hey, no, that's okay. Oh yeah, she said just now that she was working away from Japan. Kaneko said before that her sister hadn't been here for a while, but that was the reason why. Where did you go? On an overseas business trip. She's fluent in German, Spanish and Swedish. I don't really get it, but that's amazing. I was against it, but the company ordered me to do it. She was only studying foreign languages as a hobby. If it meant that I couldn't see Kotori, I thought that it might be better to quit the company. No, that would be going too far, sis. No, not really. Actually, I was supposed to have been coming back tomorrow, but I was so worried that I was at my wit's end and came back a day early, she said while clinging on to Kotori. So what really happened? Tell me everything. It's fine now, it's no big deal. It was like the May blues that people usually get 1 month after the start of the school year. I'd come 2 months late. Okay, that's a bit of an unwieldy sentence that, but sure. Yes, I think Japanese school years start in April, don't they? Not in September, like they do here in the UK. Tears well up. Hibari looked at me with tearful eyes. She was trying to say that if I knew anything, I should spill the beans. I think that everything's okay with Kotori. Today she went to do club activities even though we had a day off school. Club activities? We're in the soaring club, right, Kotori? Soaring club? What's that? It's... Have you heard of gliders? Well, it's like an airplane. It's used to fly through the sky. The sky? No, that's not it, Hibari. I'm not going to fly. Or rather, I can't fly. I was told just yesterday that I couldn't do it. As Kotori desperately tries to cover it up, she glares at me like to give a signal. To give me a signal, rather. That's right. We don't just fly, we build gliders and so on. I don't really know why, but I follow her lead. Really? Yeah, so don't worry. Hibari looked like she'd accepted it for the time being and didn't pursue the issue any further. Kotori seemed relieved. It was like there was some reason why she shouldn't be doing club activities. Anyway, something smells good. Since just now, smells that stimulated my hunger have been drifting through the air. I've been making paella. I was taught how to make it while I was away. There's enough for everyone, so please enjoy. Drink. There we are. Hibari's home... I nearly went Irish again. Hibari's home cooking was superb. Oh, gosh. That's not what I wanted to do. Get out of there. Paella is Spanish-style cooked rice with shrimp and shellfish, but it was quite refined, so it went down really well with the borders. Also, after the main course of his dessert, or desert rather, the misspelling there, which was sweet bean jelly from a famous Japanese sweet shop, it was perfect. Apparently Hibari had been visiting Maison du Flame Fish since a while back, and had been making food for Kotori and the other boarders. Since she was coming to help the disabled Kotori, she'd been given special permission to come at any time by the owner-caretaker. Sorry if you can hear my chair creaking. Thanks to her, the level of satisfaction with tonight's dinner was exceptionally high. Oh, I'm full. You seem very familiar with Hibari. At the dinner table, Hibari was very open with not only her sister, but with all of the other boarders. Yeah, you're right. Since Kotori's like that, she takes care of her as her big sister, doesn't she? I guess that when she says like that, she's not talking about a disability, she means a personality. As for souvenirs, she always buys some for everyone. She's got such a cute little sister, she can't help but want to take care of her. Without we speak, Hibari pushes Kotori under a wheelchair out of the dining hall. Thank you for the meal, Hibari. It's okay, I'll clean everything up later, so you can just leave it there for now. Even though she had only just gotten back from an overseas business trip, she's got a lot of energy about her. That's Irish, not German, what am I doing? I keep mixing these voices constantly. Despite her pretty and petite appearance. 9, I can do that. That's right, after having such a delicious meal, you should do some work. She says it like it was all her doing. Kotori must also be proud of her sister. Kotori, give me a hand later, okay? What? You ate that delicious food too, didn't you? For some reason, Kotori's reaction seems a little cuter than usual. It must be her sister's influence. Okay, before that, we're going to take a bath together. And also, we'll be sleeping together tonight. In separate beds. Why? Because it's really uncomfortable when you hug me when you're half asleep. This is going in an odd direction, but sure. I was looking forward to that, which is why I came back in such a hurry. Together with her sister, acting downhearted, Kotori headed to the bathroom. As I watched them leave like that, I remember that Kotori was desperately trying to cover up the fact she's in the soaring club just now. It must be because her family would worry if she were to do anything dangerous. It seemed very unnatural to me, when it played on my mind a little. Chapter transition? Whoa, Jesus. My coaster was stuck to the bottom of my water bottle. You probably all just heard that, clattering on my desk. What awaits us next? So is it now Sunday? Just because it's summer, so you mustn't go to sleep with your stomach exposed, you'll catch a cold. Make sure you brush your teeth and send me a text once a day. No, 3 times a day. I've got it, okay. Howie? Yeah? Please take good care of Kotori. Sure, leave it to me. I thought I sounded a little arrogant, but I answered as the adored mother, and as Kotori's friend. See you, Kotori. If anything happens, call me straight away. Worried about her sister until the end, Hibari got in the car and left. Today's Monday, the start of the week. It looks like she's going straight to work. She came here in her own car, and apparently her workplace and the house are about an hour away. Hibari stayed for 2 nights, so I'm worn out. She's a good sister, isn't she? Yes, I realised that. I just wanted to know when to leave me by myself. Would Kotori be able to leave her sister alone? Okay, then shall we go to school now? Therefore, that is to say, the situation... In the 6th lesson of the day, I felt restless. When this finishes, school is done for the day. In other words, it's time for club activities. Yesterday was Sunday, and the clubs take a day off. I was told that my pilot training would start today, so I couldn't stop myself from feeling like I was itching to go. This is covered in the end-of-term test, so make good notes. He's very posh, this teacher. The teacher's laid-back way of speaking actually makes me feel even more annoyed. While I stare at the clock on the wall at the back of the classroom, I wait for time to pass. It rang! The bell rang! Okay, that's all for today. The things we studied today will be in the end-of-term test, so make sure to review it later. The teacher repeats the contents of the lesson before the class chairperson gives the order to stand and bow. See you, teach. Yes, don't run in the hallway. As I go into the hallway, Kotori, whose seat is near the doorway, is already outside on standby. You took your time. Can't do much about that. My seat's next to the window. Of course it is. I am in the prime anime protagonist spot. Back of the classroom, by the window. Okay, let's go. Hold on. Agea's not here yet. We looked into the classroom where Agea was surrounded by several girls, talking to them but about something. That's what. G'day, mates. That's why this is. It looks like there was something in the lesson just now that they didn't understand. When they were asking her about it, doesn't make a big deal about grades at this school. If you if you feel any subjects. Sorry, let me try that again. If you fail any subjects, it's possible that you have to repeat a year. It's not like Agea's grades are anything special, but for certain specialised subjects, she's usually near the top of the rankings. That's why, just before the end of term exams, her friends go to her for help. Hey, Agea! We hang on, I'll soon be finished. Agea waves through a gap in the wall of girls surrounding her. Hey, Howie. She said it would take just a little longer. Well then let's go on ahead. But she asked us to wait for her. We'll see her over there anyway, so it's fine, isn't it? Oh. It is choice time, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, this is where we're going to start locking in on routes. Can I save? Yes, I can. Perfect. Let's just do that immediately. So yeah, every time we get a save, every time we get a choice, hopefully we'll be able to save. Right, so I suppose, obviously, if we go ahead with Kotori, that's locking into Kotori's route. If we wait for Agea, that's keeping it open for her route. So I say let's go ahead with Kotori, right? Because I think she's the one we're kind of locking in on. She seems to be the one we're gravitating towards, at least. Sure. Let's wait. Oh, let's wait a little longer. What? Anyway, I'll just hang on for now. Oh well, then I'm going on ahead. Hey, I chose Kotori. Okay, was that basically a false choice? Kotori said it with a composed face and really did go on ahead. Okay, sure. It can't be helped, so I give Agea a quick shout before chasing after Kotori. We can wait for a little while, can't we? So why don't you? Are you really that going against with Agea? Without realising I sound anxious as I ask. I'm not against it, but I feel kind of nervous. Or should I say I feel awkward? I just can't stand it. It always felt like Kotori had trouble knowing how to be around Agea. You always act so tough, but really you're a bag of nerves. Stop analysing me. Yeah, yeah. She always puts up a front on his wary of strangers. This also affected her in that when she came to the school, she never got used to being part of the class. If you want to go together with her that much, then why don't you do that? I can go by myself, there's an elevator too. That's not what I'm saying, stop crying. I'm not crying. Really, that's good. Oh, you think I'm a crybaby, don't you? 9, I don't. You're so annoying. I've annoyed her. Kotori stops moving her wheelchair. Is she tired? You want me to push you? Kotori shook her head. I really want to get along with her, but I don't know how. And maybe she already hates me. What do you think's that? I said such nasty things to her, and also I have a bad attitude. If you realise that you have a bad attitude, why don't you do something about it? Hey, what do you think? She hates me, doesn't she? She wishes I were dead, doesn't she? 9, she doesn't. I simply stated that for the time being. How can you be so sure? I've known her for a long time, so I know that much about her. Perhaps. She's so paranoid. Kotori puts a hand on her chin and starts thinking. How can I get along better with her? Well, for example... Yes. Before going to club activities, if she says, wait for me, why not wait for her? But she didn't say that to me. Oh wait, that's her speaking. But she didn't say that to me. Because I'm the one who called out to her. Shall we go back to the classroom? No, it's fine. If I went back now, I'd be embarrassed. She really did sound embarrassed as she spoke, then moved off in a wheelchair. Sure, I'm worried about the delicate situation between the two of them, but there's no need to rush things. Things like this take time. Friendship is something that grows slowly. If there's anything I can do to help, then I will. How are we going to do the flight training? Once all of us second graders had gathered, I asked Amane. Amane has been playing around with a bundle of tangled PC cables, and we can only see her from the other side of the desk. By flying. Flying? I imagine it would be something like doing weight training to build physical strength. But I still can't fly, can I? There's no way we can fly using those broken wings. Could you move those boxes that are over there by the wall? and the wall, even. As requested, I tidy evasive boxes piled up against the wall of the garage. Well, there are piles of things, but I don't even know what they are. Since before Amane and the others started coming here, this garage has had many mysterious boxes on antique parts left inside. What's this? Why a sword and a spear in a place like this? There are some nunchucks over here. There's a broken toy gun too. Of course, the sword and the spear are well-made replicas. As for the other things, if I had bought them, I would think, why the hell did I buy this? I would definitely regret buying them, and there are many things that look like souvenirs that were brought on school leaving trips. I could easily tell that the members of long ago made this garage their own. Finished. Okay, turn off the lights. Let me sip water. As the lights were turned off, the inside of the garage became pitch black. Amane was operating some kind of machine. Oh, jeez. In the Volvo or the boxes were before, a PC screen appears. G'day, it's a projector. Like in a movie theatre. Are we going to watch an instructional video? Howie, might you come over here, dear fellow? Sitting down in the chairs that Amane prepared, I was handed a computer game controller. What are we doing? Like I said, you're going to fly. This is a flight simulator. Flight simulator? I've heard of them, but I'm not exactly sure what they are. It is like a computer game. It simulates the experience of flying. It's basically Microsoft Flight Sim. If you fly over this way, you'll see my house. Even if you don't actually fly, you can, to some extent, learn the controls and the feeling of flying a glider. I don't really understand, but it sounds pretty good. Is this oh, wrong voice. G'day, is this commercially available? No, I made it myself. This is the topography of Kasagara, and is a simulator specifically for our glider. Whoa. At Amane's command, the screen changes. The town of Kasagara, as we all know, shown as a landscape as viewed from the air, is projected onto the wall. It's actually quite a big town, with lots of green spaces. This is shown in pretty CG, as at least on the level as the cutscenes of RPGs on the latest consoles. Thought for a second it was going to make a fourth wall reference to VNs then, but g'day, she really is amazing. Okay, mumbles while looking at the screen being projected. This was updated with the latest data yesterday. You should be able to get a very realistic sense of flying. Okay. I show that I am impressed with Amane's amazing work and get myself fired up. Well then, let us begin. A glider, modelled in CG, appears on the screen. Before you learn the controls, I will explain the movements of the glider. The glider movements can be explained as rotation on 3 axes, longitudinal, lateral and vertical. First is rolling. On the screen, the longitudinal axis that runs along the length of the fuselage and the movement based on rotation on the axis were displayed. So basically that's turning, or rather, yeah, sort of, dipping the wings. This movement is called rolling. Next is pitching. This is forward and backward, isn't it? Yeah. This time, the lateral axis coming out sideways from the fuselage, and the movement based on rotation on this axis for shown. This movement raises and lowers the nose and is known as pitching. Then finally is yawing. Going through the fuselage vertically was the vertical axis, and the movement based on rotation along this axis was displayed. This movement, yawing, moves the nose left and right. These are the 3 basic movements of the glider. Do you understand? Yeah, I think so. No matter how complex the manoeuvres made by the glider are, the truth is they are all combinations of these 3 movements. That is why the pilot only needs to know how to operate these 3 movements. I see, so the basics are quite simple then. Kotori and Degea are listening to the conversation and nodding along. Okay, with that in mind, let us try actually operating it. Amane selects the mode on the PC, and the screen changes again. The sky and the horizon are projected across the wall. Is this the view from the cockpit? Yes, that is correct. Wow, this is what it looks like. The glider is already flying through the air, but because I'm used to video games, this feels incredibly slow. It doesn't really feel like it's moving forward at all. Except for takeoff and landing and some other special cases, there are 2 things you need to control. The yoke and the rudder pedal. I've seen the cockpit many times, so I know about that. The yoke is the stick that comes out from between the pilot's legs. I've seen some scenes in movies where pilots are flying fighter planes, and the yoke is the thing that they are holding on to. It has a button on it, and if you push it, it launches missiles. Of course, the glider doesn't have anything like that, for which I am profoundly disappointed, yeah. I was rather hoping that we would be equipped with machine cannons and missiles so we could shoot down these Allied Schweinhund aircraft. It's like the steering wheel in a car. Then there are the left and right rudder pedals, one of each, and are operated by pushing them with your feet. The controller corresponds to each one. The left analog stick is the yoke, the L and R buttons are the rudder pedals. I tried the analog stick, and the L and R buttons even on the gamepad. It is a little slow, but the field of vision in the centre of the screen swings around. Whoa. If you get careless, it will stall and fall to the ground, so watch out. OK. First is the yoke. This controls two of the three movements that I explained just now, rolling and pitching. If you move it left and right, the fuselage will roll in that direction. I move the analog stick, in other words the yoke, slowly to the left. It's a little slow, but the aircraft responds. The horizon in the middle of the screen leans to the right. What makes the aircraft lean when you move the yoke? Good question. That is because the yoke controls the ailerons. Ailerons? It's like Kotori has a big question mark on her face as she hears that unfamiliar word. Those are the flaps on the... yeah, wings fitted to the main wings, like the flaps on the wings that go up and down. They are wings fitted to the main wings. They're attached to the outside rear of the main wings, and if you move the yoke left, the left wing's aileron is raised, and the right wing's aileron is lowered. When that happens, the lift on the left wing is reduced, while the lift on the right wing is increased, and the aircraft banks, in other words, leans by rotating to the left. Leaning and turning her is the same as a bicycle. A bicycle has a handlebar, but you don't turn by moving it left and right, you turn by leaning the bike. There is one more movement that can be made with the yoke, and that is pitching. Pitching is, in short, moving the nose up and down. If you pull the yoke back, the nose goes up, and pushing it forward makes it go down. I tried pushing the yoke forward. Whoa. The screen moves, and the percentage of the screen filled with the ground increases. The aircraft points downward, and I feel a much greater sense of speed. By pointing the nose down, the aircraft drops, but the speed also increases. I see. I imagine it sliding down on the air. This time I tried pulling the yoke back. I was no longer able to see the horizon. It felt like it was floating, and I realised the speed was dropping. How is this controlled, with all the ailerons you told us about just now? No, it isn't. Before we did experiments with paper aeroplanes, did we not? The thing that controls the up and down movements of the aircraft is... When Kotori was playing around with the details on the paper airplanes, she made one do a big, beautiful loop-the-loop. Oh, the horizontal tailplane. Amane nods her head as if to say, well done. Pitching, in other words the up and down movements, are controlled with a rudder called an elevator, attached to the horizontal tailplane. We've heard of an elevator before, of course, but this was different to the types that goes up and down in buildings. Usually, raising the nose increases lift. In other words, the aircraft will rise. However, if it is raised too much, it will lose lift instead. The airflow will no longer be able to move along the wings, and it will break away. This phenomenon is known as a stall. I don't need to explain what happens if you lose lift. You can't fly as there's no lift, and it will inevitably fall. G'day mates, if that happens, is there nothing to do but fall? No, it is possible to straighten it out. A stall can occur at any time, so it's necessary to undergo stall recovery training. OK. When it is suggested that falling is a possibility, I find it hard to breathe. When you're flying through the air, even a tiny mistake can cost you your life. Shall we try dropping? Huh? Amane pulls back hard on the analog stick. The nose points further and further upwards, and then it has exceeded the critical angle. It stalled. And we crashed. In Microsoft Flight Sim. The aircraft stopped moving as if it was floating, then the next moment the screen started spinning like crazy as it began hurtling towards the ground. G'day mates, it's a game over. Well, that is what it is like. In training, stalls and spins are caused on purpose, then recoveries are practiced. Actually doing that in the air is really scary. You'll think that you're going to die. If you're scared of heights, maybe that really is true. Because of how well the simulation is made, I got a powerful enough impression just from the graphics, such as the absolute expertise in MS Flight Sim. Microsoft have done such a good job. Yeah. Amane selects in mode and once again restart flying. Okay, next is the rudder pedal. In the simulators, this is controlled with the L and R buttons. These operate the rudder, which is also known as the directional rudder. It is attached to the vertical tail plane. If you press the right pedal, it moves right. If you push the left pedal, it moves left. This controls yawing. This turns it sideways. When you turn, use the ailerons on the wings right. If you just use the ailerons, the aircraft still faces forward and moves like it's slipping along the side it banks on. What does that mean? G'day, if it's still facing forward, it would move diagonally, wouldn't it? Amane nods. By operating the rudder at the same time, you can turn the nose in the direction you want to face. Like the handlebars on a bicycle. If I lean the bike, you turn the handlebars in that direction. If you don't, you won't be able to turn well. Using bicycles as an example, leaning the bike left or right is like the ailerons, and the handlebars are like the rudder. I see. When you want to turn, you must use the ailerons and the rudder. That is most correct. However, that alone is not enough. When turning, leaning the aircraft causes a drop in lift, and the aircraft will drop down quite a lot. To keep as much speed as possible when turning, you need to move the yoke sideways and also back a little. When you turn, you must use all of the axes at the same time. Using VOT and VEN looks like it's quite intuitive. That is all. Those are the only controls you need when flying. After ending her explanation, Amane turned on the lights. It's pretty simple, isn't it? Yeah, g'day, yeah, it is. When I heard unfamiliar words like aileron and rudder, it sounded complicated, but once I tried it, it was quite easy. Moving the yoke backwards, forwards, left and right, on pressing the left and right pedals, that's all there is to it. As long as you do not try any aerial acrobatics, there are almost no difficult controls. The thing you need to ride the glider is the power to find the wind. Going German, find the wind. Find the wind? Where and what kind of wind is blowing? Where the vertical drafts are? Finding the wind like that determines whether you can fly it well or not. So I mean you need knowledge, experience and intuition. Yes, that is correct. For you to learn how to read the instruments, first you have to get used to them. Next you can practice by looking at the computer screen. Okay, got it. I sat down in front of the PC and started practicing immediately. Sip of water, please. Club activities are finished, and we're on the way home. G'day, it's so hot. Agaya is fanning the chest of her sweat-drenched uniform. She sees me looking. What are you looking at there, you wallaby? She sends me looking at her chest and asks cheerfully, you know, you should try to be a little more ladylike. Oh, I'm sorry, you're going to start lecturing the girls, are you, Owie, on their behaviour? I can't help it, my chest is the sweatiest place. That's ladylike, ain't it? She asks as she carries on fanning herself. I get a slight feeling that she's trying to show me. The air conditioning in the garage is pretty weak, isn't it? My butt gets really hot, says Kotori as she wriggles her backside around. But it comes to these two. It's spacious and there's no effective heat insulation from the ceiling. It's like a prefabricated building. There's no attic, and the heat from the sun transfers directly to the inside. Even if we turn on the air conditioning, it only has half the effect. It's better than at the robot club though. There are a lot of people, so it gets really humid from the sweat. Listening to Agaya's story, Kotori makes a face that says, ooh. Alright, I'm going this way. If we get to the usual fork in the road, Agaya leaves us to go in the other direction. See ya! Hey, Agaya? Do you want to get some ice cream from the convenience store? Yeah, sure, but why all of a sudden? You two were saying how hot it is, and I suddenly felt like eating one. You want to eat one too, Kotori? Yeah, okay. Kotori seems to be thinking about Agaya being there when she answers. Okay, let's go. I start walking ahead. In the convenience store parking lot, I bite into the ice creams that I had bought. Hanging out in front of the convenience store is one of the privileges of being a high school student. Agaya got watermelon flavour, Kotori got chocolate chip, and I chose vanilla monarcha. Monarcha? Not sure what that is. I would have probably gone with Kotori's choice, the chocolate chip. Especially if it has mint in it. Mint chocolate chip is good. But having said that, vanilla's good as well. Everybody likes to rag on vanilla, but you know what? I like vanilla. I don't find it boring at all. G'day, so you prefer the one sold in cups, Kotori? Ice cream on a... wrong voice. Ice cream on a stick melts halfway through, and it makes your hand sticky, so I don't really like it. Seems like everyone has their own preferences when it comes to ice cream. Hey Howie, how's the simulator? I still don't really understand it. It was pretty tricky. Which part was difficult? It just feels kind of inconvenient, you know. That's Irish what I'm doing. When I think about doing something, I'm not able to do it quickly. It's a feeling I get when I move it under speed. It's quite easy to steer though. If there's no wind, the ailerons, rudder and elevator have no effect though. That's right. Using the power of the wind to control the position of the aircraft. Of course, if the wind is strong, small movements of the controls have a big effect, and vice versa. However, the glider doesn't have an engine. You can't easily speed up or slow down. If you do one thing, it affects everything else, and that's what makes it difficult. You can't just think about the current situation. You have to act according to what will happen next. It means that experience is needed to ride this thing. Did it feel good to fly it? Well, to be honest, the simulator didn't feel that good at all. If we're watching the screen, right? Yeah, how should I say? It looked really frustrating. G'day mates, compared to 3D simulator games, it was nowhere near as exhilarating. Yeah, that's true. Must be a lot different to actually fly, though. I think so. I can imagine that somehow. How would it feel to fly through the sky in that thing, I wonder? It still feels a bit unclear. It's nice, isn't it? I want to fly too. Why don't you give the simulator a try? You can control everything with your hands. No, I'm okay. Now's the time for you to do it, Howie. I'll be patient for now. That's what it seemed like she was saying. Without thinking, Agaya and I looked at each other. G'day, okay, let's hurry up and make the wings so that we can actually fly it. Yeah. If I can quickly become able to fly by myself, I can take Kotori with me. I might be getting ahead of myself, but it's good to have a target. I didn't win a prize. Pity. Agaya finished eating her ice cream and threw the stick into the trash can. I finished eating too, so I threw my Monica wrapper into the trash can. Can't talk all of a sudden. Drink more water, please. There we are. Kotori was still eating and hurriedly ate the last of her chocolate chip ice cream. It wasn't as bad as Amane, but the way she ate kind of ruined her pretty girl image. And then she rushed over in a wheelchair and came to throw the cup into the trash can. Does she think that if she doesn't do it quickly, we'll leave her behind? While we were away from Kotori, Agaya had come up beside me. G'day, thank you for being so considerate. What do you mean? We're playing dumb. You invited Kotori and I here for our sakes, didn't you? I don't know, did I? Looking at me as quietly as I quietly play dumb, Agaya smiled cheerfully. Well, sorry to keep you waiting. You didn't need to rush like that. Okay, I'm off now. See you tomorrow. Yeah, see ya. Bye. We see Agaya off as she waves her hand, and then I push Kotori's wheelchair along the road back to the dormitory. Chapter transition in all likelihood, yeah. You know, this bottle that I use to keep my water in used to have still lemonade in it, and it still has a bit of that lemon scent whenever I drink from it, which is quite nice. Ah, what's this? After school we went to the garage and saw a large amount of cardboard boxes and tin cans piled up. Oh, it is you fellows. What is all this? G'day, it finally arrived. Before Amane answers, a girl comes in after us and her eyes sparkle as she looks on. These are the materials for making the main wings. There are still some outside, so could you give me a hand carrying them? Then with a great deal of effort we carry the materials. Agaya goes to check them off against the purchase order. It's all here. Great. With this we can finally make the wings. Agaya is extremely enthusiastic. What's this big thing here? It's huge but really light. It is styrofoam, dear fellow. We use it to make the shape. G'day, the length of a single wing is about 8 metres. We need quite a large amount to make the shape. That must provide such large amounts of the other materials too. Is this music? No. I thought it was the main theme again. No, I don't think it is. Once they're complete, it'll be able to fly right. Okay, let's start making them right away. Kotori is also keen to start, but it's not like she knows how to make them. How do we make them? Is it something that we can do here? G'day, it's made from FRP, fibre reinforced plastic, so I think that we probably won't need any special equipment. Question is whether we have enough space or not. Isn't that right, Amane? Yes, indeed. They were made here last time too. But what is that FRP stuff? I'm not familiar with that term. Why don't you provide a long-winded explanation? It is strengthened plastic, dear boy. The main wings are built from this material. Strengthened plastic? Even as I say it, it still doesn't make sense. The broken wings are propped against the wall. They are smooth and hard to the touch. I thought it would be made from aluminum or something. Wouldn't the plastic crack, though? Asked Kotori as she looked at the broken pieces. G'day, it's okay as long as they're properly made. It is most strange. I thought I did make them properly. Amane goes deep into thought as she too looks at the broken pieces next to Kotori. G'day, FRP is really sturdy. It's plastic mixed with fiberglass which increases the strength and is based on the same idea as reinforced concrete. Reinforced concrete? Well, that's where they put reinforcing iron bars through the concrete. Concrete is strong, but it weakens if it's pulled or bent. The iron bars compensate for this weakness. FRP is the same. Plastic is strong, but lacks flexibility, and is strengthened by being mixed with fiberglass. I see. I'll just go along with it for now. I'm not sure if I understand or not. As for the finer details, we'll probably learn those in class sooner or later, as that's the kind of school it is. Why is FRP used instead of iron or aluminum? G'day, there are several advantages, but when it comes to making gliders, it must be the most suitable material. Well, that is most correct. At present, FRP is a common material used to make gliders. Of course, metal is strong, but making it from plastic reduces the weight. It's easy to process, cheap, it can be repaired later and does not corrode. Amane agrees with each point with a nod. By the way, you might be surprised that FRP is also used in some things that are very familiar. What could those be? The bumpers of cars and the hull of fishing boats, apparently. The pedal boats at the park and also the Colonel statue outside that Kentucky shop. Are they talking about KFC? Well, we know that KFC is very big in Japan. As she mentions the Colonel, Kotori and I nod in agreement. I've touched the Colonel statue many times and also had silly photos taken next to it with my friends from the Cycle Racing Club. Colonel Sanders' eyes appear in my mind's eye. He looks down on me with the wisdom of 1,000 years. So that's FRP, huh? You make me want to get KFC now. I'm actually getting hungry. It is getting towards lunchtime. We'll keep going for a little while yet, though. Man, makes me want a fillet tower burger. Just for $10.99 or whatever it is. KFC, if you want to sponsor me, I will shill for you. So the glider is made from the same material as the Colonel. Kotori murmured, but I wasn't sure if she was happy because she felt the glider was somehow more familiar than she realised, or because her dream was shattered just a little. How exactly do we make them? G'day, yes. To explain it simply, first you make the shape of the wings, then it's covered with FRP. We begin with this. Agea opens one of the boxes that had just arrived and pulls out some sort of cloth. We line it with this glass mat. This is the fiberglass we were talking about just now. Then the resin is spread out on top of it, then another layer of fiberglass is laid out, then we spread more resin, and repeat that a few times. After that we wait for it to dry, then take it off. And it's complete. No, not yet. Once the surface has been polished and painted, it's finished. Sounds easy. Well, that's because that's how it is in a nutshell. Actually, there are many more steps. When making something this big, there are cases where the usual methods do not work. Well, let's take it one step at a time. Amane, could you show me the plans? As Agea takes a look at the plans, she and Amane start discussing something. I see. Looks like we have no choice but to split it here and then join it later. But if we do that, we'll have problems with the weight. If it is too heavy, the conversation moves on to things that we don't understand. Amane, when it comes to making the main wings, do you think you could leave it to me? Sure, I do not mind. It would be better than me making it, right? Thank you, Kotori. Kotori is surprised to hear her name called out all of a sudden. I think it's about time for them to start being more friendly towards each other, but... yes, what is it? You can help too, Kotori. Of course, that's what I was planning to do. I'll help too. We only really need you when we need an extra pair of hands. You should make the simulator your priority. That's going Irish, what am I doing? So easy to mix these voices together. Kotori gives me an uneasy glance. I'll leave it to you two, Zen. Yes, leave it to us. With that, Agea became Yvonne in charge of making the main things, and Zen got to work on making some. Oh, just random interjection with the school CG for some reason. Okay, let's do this the way we were taught. First, make the shape using the styrofoam. However, the polyester resin melts the styrofoam, so before we use that, it needs to be coated. Until just now, Kotori had been taking Agea's impromptu FRP course. She'd been seriously taking notes, and reads them back as they proceed with the work. By the way, for now it's just practice, so they are trying to make something not related to the main things. We begin with laying out the fiberglass, and apply the polyester resin with a roller. That's no good, you have to roll it in more firmly. I am. When you get to the corner, use a brush, don't apply too much resin. That's going Irish again. I know that, gee, shut up. G'day, if we leave bubbles it'll create cavities, and that will cause it to become weaker. If that happens, they will break again. As Amane stood beside me, teaching me about piloting, she seemed to have a hurt expression on her face. Are you okay, Amane? Yes, I am fine, she answered, still with that hurt look about her. It seems like Amane has a complex about her lack of dexterity. Amane and I were doing pilot training using a simulator. When turning, if the steering on the rudder is reduced or the timing is too slow, it can cause it to slip in. On the other hand, if you use the rudder too much or the timing is too fast, it can slip out. Slipping in or slipping out are the terms used to refer to diagonal movement of the glider. This is caused when you are trying to turn, but his nose is not pointing in the right direction. With slipping in or out, the glider no longer faces in the direction of the relative wind, which causes a reduction in lift. That means that if the glider is moving through the air at a decent speed, even if there is no wind at all, it is still the same as if it were taking wind from the direction in which it is moving. That is what is known as relative wind. So if the glider is moving diagonally, the wind hits it diagonally too. This means if the glider takes the wind from the front, the functions of that aircraft are maximised. When Amane says that there will be a reduction in lift, it's because it cannot take the wind directly from the front. Even without that, lift is reduced when turning anyway, so if it slips in or out, you lose a lot of speed. Excuse me. Oh, I forgot who Akari was for a moment then. Akari Kumo is the Vice President of the Student Council, enters the garage. Hello, Vice President. Hello, Senior Mochizuki. Also, Guten Tag. Her eyes meet, so I lower my head in a bow. Hello, Aoi. She's probably just checking up to make sure we're not ghosting. Akari looks around the garage and nods with approval. It looks like you are working hard. Yes, just like real club activities, she says with pride, because these are club activities after all. Anyway, do you need something? Actually, I just came to see how things are going. Things weren't too great last time. As you can see, we are doing very well. Yes, I can see that. For some reason I feel like she has a bit of a sharp tongue when talking to me. Seems like Vice President Akari Kumo is looking at me like she's assessing me. Actually, he really does have a trusting face. He doesn't seem like a bad guy, but I'd better be careful. What is it? No, it's nothing. Does she have a problem with me? Quite possibly. Akari heads over to the other two working at the back of the garage. May I take a look at that? G'day, Akari, go ahead. How about this? Oh, wrong voice. How about this one? Yes, that looks good. Actually, that's FRP, isn't it? What are you making? A dish. A dish. G'day, we're practicing. We want to make the wings of a glider, but we can't start doing that straight away, because if we mess it up, there'll be problems. Now we have to wait for it to harden, then we polish it, then add the colour. Kotori mumbled to herself as she checked her notes. Actually, Kotori, once you finish using the roller and the brush, you should wash them quickly. The resin will harden, and you won't be able to use them anymore. Oh, really? Kotori hurriedly goes to wash them. That was a close one. She almost ruined some of the equipment we had just bought. Actually, the resin mixed with curing agent dries more easily at high temperatures, so the container should be put in a cool place in the shade. Kotori wiped her wet hands on her skirt and made a note of Akari's advice. G'day, it will take a long time to make the main wing, so we have to think about things like that. I guess it also looks like she's thinking seriously. After confirming that the other two were doing proper club activities, relieved, she came back over to us. It's going well, isn't it? Yes. Amane answered proudly. She looked happy to be praised like that. Anyway, there was actually one other reason I came here. Have you decided a person to be second in charge? Second in charge? The other two working at the back of the garage stop and turns their attention this way. Yes. Senior Mochizuki, you're very talented, but there may be times when you can't do all of the work yourself, correct? At those times, it's extremely helpful to have someone like that around. Apart from Amane, everyone made a face that seemed to say, oh, I see. It's probably not just Akari, but all the other student council members in the past would also have had trouble with Amane. She's very unique, so sometimes she expresses ideas that differ from the general social norms. There was the issue with the club losing its status the other day, once the fact that she keeps repeating the year is a prime example of her uniqueness. She's trying to say that she would like someone to act as a middleman to keep things running smoothly like a manager. What you really mean is that you need someone to act as a mediator, right? From the few days that I've spent with Amane, it seems she isn't suited to being any sort of mediator. She decides the club's principles and therefore there's a reason for it to exist, whereas the second in charge is needed to bring everyone together to carry that out. Okay, I understand. I will choose someone. That would be helpful. Akari seemed relieved as she nodded and then glanced at me. Actually, as I thought, she may choose Aoi Minase. According to Kaneko, he's popular, good at taking action, not bad looking. Oh, what am I thinking? What were you talking about there? Wow, she said that out loud, did she? You were saying something about me and looked like you were glancing over at me. Actually, I wasn't looking at you. You're too self-conscious, Aoi. I was just looking at the Soaring Club's activities, that's all. Oh, I see. Sorry. So actually, she wasn't just glancing at me, she was staring. Well, that's all for now. Now that she had finished what she had come to do, Akari left in a hurry. Did you trip over? Oh, a box, okay. On the way out, she tripped over a cardboard box. Geez, what's this box doing here? Once more, she went to leave. And she tripped over another box on her way out. And then another one. Ooh, there we are. Drink more water. What was that all about? G'day, I don't know. Maybe she has a thing for Aoi. Is she another potential romanceable option? Why are you saying that all of a sudden? Oh, wrong voice. The Vice President was looking at you the whole time. I thought she was looking. G'day, so there's something going on? Nines, there isn't really. Come on, let's all get back to work. I tried to get them to drop it, then Ageo and Kotori to return to their work. He's blushing a little, isn't he? G'day, he is. Akari is pretty though, even. I can hear you. Amane, what are you going to do about that thing the Vice President was talking about just now? I am not sure, dear fellow. Is there anyone who wants to do it? The two other girls... sorry, I yawned out of nowhere. And now that I've said that, it's going to be infectious and you're all going to yawn as well. The two other girls look at each other for some reason, then look at me. Me? That's what it looks like. G'day, that's what it looks like. You can't decide something like that by saying that's what it looks like. Let's think about this, Amane. Okay, I will, she said as I tried to reach a resolution to the problems that I had brought up. What I mean is that everyone should keep mumbling to themselves to a minimum and concentrate on the task at hand. You sound like the second in charge already. He's surprisingly motivated, isn't he? I think that we should choose Aoi. Everyone was muttering to themselves as they got back to work. Well, that was decided very quickly, wasn't it? Water, please. It's about time for us to leave. I would have liked to have done a bit more work, though. The quicker we complete this, the quicker we can fly it. Kotori murmured quietly to herself. The school closes at 6:30 PM, and if you wish to stay longer, you need to submit a notice of extension of club activities. However, I have my dorm mother work to do, Kotori has to help me with dinner, so we have to leave at the usual time. G'day, tomorrow while to continue with the dish that we were trying out today, we can start making the shape of the main wings. We'll soon be starting the real thing. If we rush it, it will snap again, which will be a big problem. Let's work on it with all due care. Yeah. Today at lunchtime, things still seemed awkward between them, but after only half a day has passed, they've really opened up to each other. G'day, by the way, Aoi. What do you think of Akari? Oh, that's right. I was thinking before that we should cross-examine you about this one's club activity's finished. Sorry, kept misreading that for a moment then. What's this all about? I don't care. You don't need to cross-examine me. In that case, tell us about it. Yeah, matey, tell us. Can't believe these two. Okay, let's make a dash back home. All the boarders are waiting with empty stomachs. I ran as I pushed Kotori's wheelchair. Hey, wait. Why are you covering it up? I thought that somehow these two might just get along really well. Good for them. Right, that's a chapter transition right there. So, question is, should I wrap the episode up now? It's getting towards lunchtime. We're going for over an hour, which is, roughly the average that we've been doing for these episodes. That's a lot of cicadas being quite loud. Okay, I'll just go through a couple more lines until the cicadas stop. Once we began work on building the main wings, the soaring club garage suddenly came to life. Everyone had their own tasks and was able to find an outlet for their increased motivation. Also, this had an effect on things outside the garage too. For example, at lunchtime one day... Hey, what's the difference between glass mats and glass cloth? G'day mates, the size. Were there any other differences? Glass cloth is thinner, but the fibres are longer, so it's stronger when being pulled. That's right. The glass mats can easily adapt to curved surfaces, so are used when making complex shapes. So when making the wings, glass cloth would be more suitable. It's big and wide and must also be strong. That's true, matey. Recently it's been like this, with Kotori and Agaya having lunch together. Kotori is always reading an introductory book for FPRP, and if there is anything that she doesn't understand, she asks Agaya. When Agaya had free time, she was studying thick technical books about glider productions that she had taken from the bookshelf in the garage. She can also read these books while eating her lunch. Because Kotori was spending time with Agaya... Gas going up my throat from my water. Yeah, I'm going to need to wrap up soon and go and get some lunch. The feelings that Kotori wasn't part of the class began to subside, which could be called a welcome byproduct. Also, like what's happening now, other people in the class can help Kotori, and it looks like she is having more and more chances to talk to people. Hey Aoi, stop looking at the girls. I'm not. I made a few friends in the class too, and started having lunch with them. I wonder what they're talking about. As far as building the main wings goes, I'm just a helper, so that doesn't really have much to do with me, but I'm just interested. Well, I mean, I want to talk to them about the glider too. But you're a bit of a surprise though, aren't you? Why's that? Since you transferred here, you suddenly started getting along really well with Kotori, and you're getting close to Senior Mochizuki, aren't you? It's all just by chance. Kotori used to have a stormy relationship with the girls, seems to have been treated differently by the boys, who found her a bit unapproachable but showed a certain kind of respect when they spoke of her. Maybe because of her legs, okay, or maybe because she's pretty, or maybe because she has that kind of don't talk to me aura about her. Just by chance, eh? Since I became Zador mother, maybe I've been speaking about her in a similar way. The fact that I settled into the class so quickly was all thanks to Agaya. I gotta tell you this, we'll envy you because of that too. What do you mean you two were childhood friends? Yeah, it's true, but... This is kind of off topic, but it seems like Agaya is popular with the boys. Thanks to that, some of the boys are a little jealous and envy me. If the situation were reversed, I might be envious of them. Yeah, I might join the soaring club too. That's too bad, we already have too many members. You're lying, you can't hog all the girls to yourself, dude. In one corner of the classroom, Agaya and the others were getting excited talking about gliders, while the other boys and I were enthusiastically talking about typical high school boy stuff. Speaking of which, when I was at the all-boys school, these kinds of conversations were a lot less enjoyable, so I'm glad I transferred after all. This is how it usually is each day. Alright, I think now is the time we'll wrap up, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, we'll continue on with this day in the next part. So, yeah, Kotori and Agaya opening up to one another. Kotori's having character development. We now have our different roles in the club. things are progressing, but no doubt there's still a lot more to go with this visual novel yet. Alright, social media links, propaganda channel link, etc, etc, as usual are in the video description for anyone interested. If you enjoyed, a like is of course always appreciated. But other than that, I'm going to sign off now. Join me next time. Goodbye all. Let me through. We go for it. Yeah, this is just like a fucking boogie chase. Chapter 1, just reminds me of that. Same thing, right? In a closed space. Fuck, he gets stuck on that corner. It's really weird. Go. I'm out of here, bitches. You're gonna do here. Down the slide. I assume it's just the middle slide that he used there. Because I assume the other slides will need to do something. Right, up here. He coming. Right, ready, and I'm going. Oh god. Oh. Okay, we got a save point. Fortunately.